I have a weird question for you. Could your everyday, boring office spreadsheet actually be a weapon?
I mean, normally you'd say no, but yeah, in this case, absolutely.
Right, because today, in our exploration into the source material, we're looking at the early 2026 digital standoff in Costa Rica. It basically started as a 9 GB data breach at ICE, which is, their national power and telecom monopoly.
Yeah, and it escalated into what intelligence dossiers are actually calling a live field laboratory for neurowarfare.
It is wild stuff. And just to be clear, we're synthesizing government reports, mandiant threat intelligence, and this really startling academic study from China. We're not taking any political sides here. We're just neutrally unpacking what the sources claim.
Exactly. So for context, Costa Rica was targeted because, well, President Chaves basically banned Chinese 5G vendors like Huawei and ZTE.
Right, because of the Budapest Convention, right?
Yeah, he required adherence to it, and China hasn't signed it. So in response, this threat group, UNC 2814, also known as Gallium, they breached ICE and dropped this fascinating malware called GridTide.
GridTide, which, I mean, it sounds like some super advanced spy terminal, but it literally uses Google Sheets. How does that even work?
It's called living off the land. The malware uses the standard Google Sheets API to avoid detection. So they hide malicious shell commands and just, sell A1 of a totally normal-looking spreadsheet.
Wait, really? Just sell A1?
Yeah.
So to an IT team, it just looks like standard cloud traffic, like someone
Right.
updating a budget.
Precisely. It's virtually invisible. But here's the ironic part. While they used elite cloud masking, they compromised Setcom, the contractor for the backup generators, using default credentials.
You mean like the literal password 1234 problem?
Literally admin and password 1234.
Okay, I have to push back on that. Why bother with all this elite Google Sheets hacking if the front door is protected by a password a toddler could guess?
Well, because the underlying grid infrastructure runs on these really old protocols, things like Modbus and SNMP. They were built for efficiency decades ago, not security. So with that basic password, attackers accessed a Cloud Master account hosted in the UK. Yeah, and that gave them root-level access to shut down or manipulate the entire nation's generator fleet.
Okay, so that's the infrastructure side. But the dossiers go into this psychoacoustic stuff, which is just, I mean, it's terrifying. They set up physical observation posts with fake leaves.
Yeah, RF transparent fake leaves to hide surveillance gear. And they used fiber optic pigtail splices to mirror all the data. But the neurowarfare part is where it gets really dystopian.
Right, the 7 hertz thing. Walk us through that.
So the electrical grid runs at 60 hertz. The attackers inject a 53 hertz carrier signal into it, and when those two frequencies interact, they create a 7 hertz beat frequency.
And 7 hertz is the theta brainwave state, right? Like when you're deeply relaxed or falling asleep.
Exactly. It's brainwave entrainment, it reduces critical thinking, and they combine this with the Frey effect.
Which is the microwave auditory effect, if I remember the reports correctly.
Yes. They use FM bursts to inject an internal voice directly into a target's neural pathways. It completely bypasses the ears.
Oh, wow. So it's a silent digital hijack of the brain. Is the goal just gathering data, or is it total cognitive control?
It's about setting up a strategic loop. And this is where that March 2024 Chinese blush study comes in.
Right, the study on hidden mental states.
Yeah. The researchers used RPPG, which extracts your heart rate just using a standard camera, plus thermal imaging.
So they can see your skin flush or your heart rate spike just from a security camera.
Exactly, without physical contact. They used the Costa Rican population to train AI models. They cross-reference those biometric reactions with environmental stressors they control, like, flickering lights or those ultrasonic bursts.
Unbelievable. So they're basically detecting moral elevation or cognitive stress remotely.
Right. It's a complete convergence. Your router, your power grid, and your own heartbeat weaponized together.
So we went from a 5G policy dispute to a manipulated spreadsheet to remote controlling the nervous system. It's a lot to take in.
It really is.
I think the final really provocative thought for everyone listening is this. If an adversary can use the latency gap of your own brain to inject thoughts before you even consciously process them, how do you even begin to define digital sovereignty in your own home?
That is the big question.
Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for exploring this with me today.